congratulations on finishing the course. Now that you know about the fundamental skills and tools essential for your success as a product owner, you will find plenty of opportunities to continue your learning and applying these skills. Before discussing potential next steps, let's walk through a high-level review of what you learned. In this course, you explored your role as a product owner in maximizing product value. You learned that in your role as a product owner, you will lead planning efforts by applying agile practices and combining technical expertise with strong communication skills. In order to maximize your product's value, your key responsibilities as a product owner include collaborating with stakeholders to understand the product vision and translate that vision into actionable work for your development team. Initially, you need to define requirements for the minimal viable product, or MVP. To see the product to fruition, the MVP is a version of the product with just enough functionality to satisfy early adopters and gather feedback on which to iterate. The MVP demonstrates value early, while subsequent releases build on its foundation. When defining the MVP, you elicit requirements to ensure solutions align with customer expectations. You work with stakeholders to uncover their pain points and understand their desired outcomes, then use this information to craft user stories. You validate and prioritize those stories with stakeholders and add them to your product backlog accordingly. When creating user stories, you will often develop scenarios. Scenarios describe the current as-is environment followed by a fictional story driven by the product vision. You can use scenarios to support a broad goal for creating themes, initiatives, and epics, or to clarify user stories by readily identifying the definition of done. Another of your responsibilities as a product owner includes managing technical debt. Technical debt refers to the aftermath resulting from shortcuts, compromises, or quick fixes made during software development that help deliver functionality faster. To facilitate clearing debt, you can incorporate time spent into regular sprints or by scheduling dedicated refactoring sprints. Strategies for managing technical debt include balancing priorities, documenting the debt, and communicating its impact so the team recognizes the value of sustainably managing it. As a product owner, you are responsible for implementing the product vision through governance. To govern a product well, you need to plan both strategically and operationally by developing roadmaps and applying appropriate metrics. When governing a product, you establish boundaries for your teams who will use them to make decisions that ensure alignment with organizational objectives. Effective governance provides clarity on roles, accountability, and resource prioritization. As part of product governance, you will need to utilize two sets of measurements: financial metrics and key performance indicators, KPIs. Well-established financial metrics allow you to obtain the resources you need for your backlog. Finely tuned key performance indicators will accurately measure the success of your strategic objectives. KPIs translate abstract goals into concrete metrics, so you can monitor and optimize those objectives. KPIs facilitate aligning the product vision with organizational strategy. By using agile frameworks such as SAFe, LeSS, and Scrum at Scale, you can facilitate seamless operational planning. An agile and lean mindset will help your team focus on flexibility, collaboration, and iterative product improvement. Be sure to take advantage of key tools such as sprint plans, roadmaps, burn-down charts, and network diagrams to help you with release plan scheduling, project management, and collaboration. Finally, you learned about some specific agile practices and the communication skills you will need to realize the product vision. Your well-honed technical writing skills allow you to convey complex information clearly and concisely, making knowledge transfer actionable for your team by constructing user stories, documenting requirements, and developing accurate roadmaps. Also, you will use your technical writing skills to construct personas. Personas are similar to scenarios in that they are fictional representations. However, rather than describing the environment envisioned, they provide insight into users impacted by your product. Through the persona creation process, you will better understand your users by conducting interviews, analyzing data, observing interactions, leveraging research, and collaborating with teams. As a product owner, you serve as the bridge between external stakeholders, internal development, and UX teams. The sprint review allows you to sync with your stakeholders and development team by refining the product backlog together and reprioritizing tasks. You also serve as a touchpoint for the UX team. With the UX team, you refine user stories to include actionable acceptance criteria that address your product's functional and experiential aspects. When planning sprints, you will need to understand your team's velocity. Velocity estimates the team's work capacity for a given sprint. You identify the velocity by estimating the complexity of implementing a user story with a metric called story points. You assign your user story points based on their complexity. You will give lower complexity stories fewer story points than more complex ones. Now that you've reviewed what you've learned based on the course's key learning objectives, we encourage you to continue learning about the product owner role. If you have not yet enrolled in our IBM Product Owner Professional Certificate, of which this course is a part, we encourage you to do so. You can earn an IBM Product Owner Certificate in less than 4 months by dedicating about 5 hours of your time per week, depending on your schedule. If you wish to continue your learning journey but prefer a shorter program, consider the 4-course Product Owner Certificate Preparation Series that prepares you for the Scrum.org PSPO1 exam. You can complete it in approximately 6 weeks with about 5 hours per week of effort. The links to these programs are in the Next Steps reading at the end of this course. Each course in these programs contains multiple hands-on labs and a final project. The Professional Certificate Program offers a capstone course in which you analyze case studies to understand how what you've learned in previous courses applies to real-world enterprises. Congratulations on completing this course, and good luck with your product owner learning journey.